Hello everyone and welcome to the fifth and last day of the CPH conference here at the CPH Docs Film Festival in Copenhagen. What a week! Rebuild democracy, redistribute economy, representation power, rebellion climate, and now resilience culture. Yes, because new digital formats, new modes of interaction, of storytelling, of authorship have exploded. And this, for storytellers, creators, institutions, and also collectives, they build new worlds in the online space. And at the same time, we had the economic precarity, which was actually existing before the pandemics, which was actually hitting even worse, a greater threat now. So what strategies can we build, embrace, and do together to ensure a truer resilience for the arts, for the cultural sector, for our own industry? So we want to take different perspectives. We took different perspectives: democracy, economy, representation, climate, and now it is the day to take action. As soon as you leave this room, this Zoom, when we're in Zoom, this conference, a week is not enough to tell everything, definitely not. And well, we talked about probably the most important things of today. And you know how conferences and events are. You hear great talks, you are enthused, you meet great people. And then the conference is over. You have your all fresh new ideas and you want to make them happen. And it's all exciting, but then your heart is also a little bit broken because it's over. And at the same time, you have to make these new fresh ideas resist the habit, the routine, the daily routine coming back. You want really to take action and to make this implementation of these new ideas. And this is why we want to give you a collective day to empower you together to make this happen. So we invited companies, institutions, collectives, and let us be precise here. We have one tech company, we have one platform from the passion economy, we have one institution, and we have two collectives. And they will offer you a workshop or a roundtable when you can participate. You have been registering already, and you will discuss strategies to be embraced. You will discuss what can you do to make this change happen, and they will share how they do it. They might also ask your support, and maybe you will ask them for support, and you will do it better together. So we have 5 of them coming with us. We have Doc Society Climate Storytelling, the Climate Day, right? FilmChain, How Transparency Builds Trust. Blockchain, it's between democracy and economy, I would say. Patreon, Community and the Future of Funding, definitely economy. Ethnocine, Decolonizing Documentary Filmmaking, and Programmers of Color Collective. Is this work for us? Representation and power for the two collectives here that we have on board, and I'm really very happy that they are here with us. I'm going to invite them all to present their initiative or their workshop roundtable in a second, and then we will have 1 hour workshop. And in this workshop, obviously you cannot attend all 5 of them, but we got you covered. No need for FOMO here, because there will be a recap after the workshops. Everybody's going to say what they did and what were the results, what happened in the breakout room, in the respective breakout rooms, so you're not going to miss anything, don't worry. So what will happen exactly in the rounds discussion and the workshops? Well, they will give a presentation, what they have to offer, what they do, best practices. They will listen to your needs, your questions. They might develop with you together new ideas to brainstorm, exchange. Maybe you will evoke together new potential collaborations. Maybe you will simply share insights and inspiration, and that's good enough. So don't be shy, be bold, and ask for what you need to know. And for this, we're going to meet on Zoom again. So, for this, you see in the chat, and you will see during also the hour of workshop, there is a collaborative document so that everybody can actually take part and ask questions, make comments, add something important, so that at the end of the session, you have everything on the collaborative document, and you will be able to do the recap. Okay? Good, I think. I will see you there. Have fun. Join the Zoom session, you know where. And see you later for the recap. Okay, so now before we go to the Zoom session, of course, we want to have the Ignite talk so that you know where you're going to. And I'm going to ask each workshop leader to do a presentation of approx 3 minutes max. And first of all, I would like to call here Irina Albita, the co-founder and co-CEO of FilmChain. Hi, Irina, nice to see you. How transparency builds trust. And I'm going to let you make your talk. What's going to happen on your table?
Hello, everyone. So excited to be here at CPH Docs. I'm Irina. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of FilmChain alongside Maria Tenjalo. I'm a technologist and spent the last 12 years in the London and New York City tech scene. At FilmChain, we are a team of half technologists and half film producers, all of us film nerds. We've built FilmChain, the first digital collection agent, CAM, that pays professionals in the film and TV industries. Producers, investors, actors access their money and data in automatic, transparent processes. The platform leverages blockchain technology and machine learning to save industry professionals millions in mismanaged funds, human errors, and lack of data. The platform is used, we're incredibly excited by over 700 active beneficiaries and organizations such as HBO, Council of Europe, Screen Australia, clients in the US, Europe, Canada, and Israel. In today's workshop, we want to keep it practical and interactive. We want to focus on sharing with you some of our hot tips when it comes to structuring recruitment schedules, managing and aligning your stakeholders, financiers, sales agents, as well as how working with a digital collection account company is in practice. We'll also tackle why film producers should consider using technology and how machine learning plays a role in the future of financials and recoupments. We'll showcase for you a 5 quick minute demo of how working with FilmChain platform looks like, and then we'll open it up to a set of interactive questions and share with you a few more details of our newly launched documentary offer. So see you there.
Thank you very much, Irina. That was a great talk. I'm going to attend also your table. I'm going to attend them all anyway. As a host, I'm going to fly all the tables, so that's great. But now I want to hear more from Ronnie Krieger. He's the General Manager Europe of Patreon. And Patreon has the workshop Community and the Future of Funding, obviously with Patreon. Ronnie, are you there? Can you tell us more?
Yes. Hi, I'm here. Hello, yeah, as you said, my name is Ronnie Krieger. I have been a movie fan all of my life, and Patreon is a company that was created by a musician because he didn't like the way he was bound to the monetization aspects on other channels and other platforms, and he wanted to create a platform where creators of any sort, musicians, filmmakers, video creators, bloggers, vloggers, anyone, can basically engage with their communities and find an alternative way to fund their art. At the beginning, it started relatively slowly. It was intended for musicians, and very early on, the first medium of creators that have been really successfully using the platforms were video creators, predominantly YouTubers, but also other sorts of video creators. And personally, I always felt that the movie industry is very similar in their approach, in the formats that they use, in the medium that they use, but they have not been looking at community and at funding in the same way as these innovative online platforms and ideas. So I am hugely thankful for the invite to this festival, because I believe there's a lot of opportunities on the table for the film industry to make more innovative use of modern technology, of membership, of community like Patreon, and step away from the fragmented approach that they take right now to make their movies, the documentaries, the series, fund them, and engage with their communities. And in our workshop, my colleague G and I, we will make this very much about the attendance. It's about you, it's not about us. And we'll discuss how Patreon can be useful for you and what membership and community means from our point of view and how impactful it can be for creators and artists.
Great. Thank you very much, Ronnie. I look forward to have a look at this too. And we're going to move now to the next table or like workshop, whatever you'd like to call it. And it will be with Doc Society, Jessica Edwards, where she is the Director of Impact and Partnerships there. And their workshop is Climate Storytelling and the Reimagining of Possibilities. Jessica, thank you to be here with us. Tell us a little bit more about your workshop.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, Doc Society is an organisation that has been supporting independent storytellers for over 15 years. And that is why we're here at the Resilience Culture Day today, because we believe in the role of cultural strategy to lead us towards social progress. And in fact, it's something that we've been reflecting on and testing out in the last few years. And we've concluded that climate storytelling and the reimagining of possibilities provides an extraordinary opportunity for all of us to rebuild and dream bigger than we've ever previously dared. And ultimately, this will result in true resilience for a future-facing arts and cultural sector with societal contributions that are immense. With 9 years to prevent climate change from becoming irreversible, time is of the essence for us as filmmakers, cultural organisers and change makers to use our responsibility and expertise wisely. Because culture is the dimension where the importance of climate change compared to all other priorities has to be fought and won. To quote the author Amitav Ghosh, as Megha did in the session yesterday, when future generations look back, they will certainly blame the leaders and politicians of this time for their failure to address the climate crisis. But they may as well hold artists and writers to be equally culpable, for the imagining of possibilities is not, after all, the job of politicians and bureaucrats. Storytellers play a critical role in framing how our societies understand both the crises of our time and, crucially, their solutions. Storytelling is how we create shared meaning. But many of the most popular climate stories of the past decade fall into common, often doom-laden tropes, relying on trusted messengers who are mostly white men from the global north. One section of the population is served again and again, while alienating or ignoring the rest. And that's why we launched the Climate Story Unit at Doc Society, a narrative shift initiative supporting transformative storytelling to advance a climate-just future. But we can't do this alone. That's not our style, and you know that if you know Doc Society. We're working with storytellers, impact strategists, movement builders, climate scientists and policymakers, and people like you. That's why I'm here today with my colleague Shanida Scotland, Head of Film at Doc Society. We're fascinated to hear from you in our roundtable about this issue and to brainstorm what needs to be reimagined and how. As Primo said yesterday, we need a biodiversity of storytelling as diverse as the ecosystems we seek to save, to reimagine the possibilities and reach over political and cultural divides. But for that to happen, industry shifts are needed to ensure there's a breadth of beautiful, creative and inspiring storytelling and more effective strategies to connect these stories to a range of audiences with impact. But that's just the beginning. What else needs to change in the cultural sector to achieve more resilience and a just future for all? Does the answer lie in changes in government policy, more climate funding? Perhaps it's about different approaches to commissioning or better audience insights to inform the routes that stories take to connect and resonate. My sense is that we will need all of these, but above all, we're going to need to work together to shift the status quo. Clearly, climate change is a complicated, sometimes slippery issue to grapple with. But if we don't rise to the creative challenges that it presents us as culture makers, we'll be most culpable for not reimagining the possibilities. So come, kick off your commitment to reimagining possibilities around climate storytelling and join my colleague Shanida Scotland and me this afternoon in the roundtable to discuss.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Yes, absolutely. Let's move forwards this whole system and don't make us ashamed for later on when the next generation will look back, right? We want to take this into our hands and make this happen. Next, we'll have Toni Bell from the Programmers of Color Collective. Toni is an impact strategist, and she has also a great podcast, by the way, What's Up with Docs. I encourage you to check it out. This is great. Toni, tell us more about your table of your table is this work for us? Question mark.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. It's great to be here. This is my first time at CPH Docs, and just full disclosure, I just saw a spider. It's interesting what happens on these calls, but yeah. So to my right, so I'm kind of keeping my eye on it. But I will do my best right now. But I am here, and I will be presenting with Lana Garland. We are members of the Programmers of Color Collective. Our founding members were Paul Struthers, Hussein Kuramboy, Lucy Mukherjee, and Temba Beba. And our work is centered around making sure that we are engaged in equitable practices that not only decrease bias, but also celebrate the works of those who are under-resourced in the documentary community. The initiative was inspired by years of bias in film selections that are demonstrably non-diverse or non-inclusive. One of the goals of the Programmers of Color Collective is to create new talent in this pool, and not only just around diversity and equity, but also with the anti-racism bent. In today's talk, we are going to be having some difficult conversations. The conversation is inspired by Is This Work for Us by Gemma Desai, which I encourage you all to read, and is a resource on the part of the resources that we'll be providing for you today. We're going to start off with some presumptions of the conversations to kind of frame what we're going to be talking about, definitions around some common terms that are used when talking about diversity and equity. We are going to name the problem, because you cannot make changes until you actually acknowledge what the problem is. Then we have some questions that are specifically geared toward those who identify as folks of color. Then questions for white people in the industry, and then questions that everyone should ask themselves, because these are opportunities really for self-reflection to determine how you as a filmmaker, as an industry person, engage with the work and with your protagonists. And then we are going to open up the floor to a robust and fruitful discussion, as well as provide some specific solutions. And the key is to create solutions that are not just centered around talk, but actually action. And actions don't have to be large, but actions do need to be taken to move forward in this industry to create a more equitable space for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. It is wonderful, Toni. Thank you for your presentation. And I think if you have the courage to have these difficult conversations, you cannot be in fear in front of this delicate being called spider. You can take a glass and a couple of paper things, and then you can carry it. You have a couple of minutes before your workshop, and you're fierce. So let's go and move to the next and last of our 5 roundtables, and it will be Miasarah Lai, a documentary filmmaker, community organizer, co-founder of Ethnocine collective. Miasarah, tell us a little bit more what you're going to do with decolonizing filmmaking, please.
Hi there. Thanks so much for having me at CPX Docs. So like AC describes, I'm an independent documentary filmmaker and a community organizer, co-founder of Ethnocine Collective. Ethnocine Collective is a woman of color-centered ethnographic filmmaking collective, and we push the boundaries of documentary storytelling through our decolonial and intersectional feminist practice. Our collective has 6 members, and we're anthropologists, professors, organizers, and documentary filmmakers. I'm also the community manager at Brown Girls Doc Mafia. That is an online community of over 4,700 women and non-binary filmmakers of color. Today for the workshop with me, I'll be going over one of the workshops that we give through Ethnocine Collective, which is around decolonizing documentary filmmaking by contextualizing, where documentary filmmaking came from and its colonial residue through anthropology. And we're going to be talking about different strategies that filmmakers can do throughout the filmmaking process to think through assumptions and practices that have been embedded in the filmmaking process. So together, we hope to give you some tips and strategies, but we also hope to hear back from you if you have your own strategies and whether there are particular projects that you're working on that you would like to get feedback on. So we'll be talking about alternative modes of storytelling, traditional racist representations that appear time and time again in documentary. And then before I wrap up this presentation, I just wanted to leave you with a quote. The revolution to end racism has a price. If it doesn't cost you something, it's not revolutionary. This is Ashley Ray, a civil rights lawyer. So I'm really excited to be a part of this collection of workshops. It seems like there's a lot of opportunities for everyone to do some serious self-reflection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miasarah. This is great. And I know we will have difficult conversations here in these breakout rooms. The breakout rooms are not recorded, but because we want to work in peace and in safe spaces. So let us go.